Previously. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Terraria. Now, there have been a few changes since we last left off, and I have no idea where to start. I guess we should probably start with the most biggest change. Most biggest? Yep, sure, most biggest. And that is, do you remember the corruption that was creeping in on the right-hand side? It kind of began to take over this area here, and we pushed it back to where the desert begins, where the sunflowers are. Well, it turns out it kind of crept back up through that. You can see it spread all down here, look. Luckily, that can't reach the top anymore, but it did spread, and it took over a lot. It managed to get into my greenhouse. So I decided, let's get rid of it. And the desert is now gone. Dug out almost completely. Look at that big divot there. Now I've gone and I've reseeded it with grass. Hopefully that should grow over and make it all look nice. And then we have the regular desert up there. But we removed so much from that, and it took so long. We went through a full moon and 3 separate blood moons. That's just how long it took me to do this. 5 hours. And not just this, but all the other changes I've made contribute to 5 hours off camera, so I'm glad I didn't record it. That would have been murder. So, just to show how much I've stored anything I've earned off camera in here that was of note. The top stuff I'll get to in a minute, but the bottom stuff, if we look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a quarter thousand ebon sand and 1,500 ebon stone. That's nearly 10,000 blocks that I dug from that desert. Right, the other thing to note is the grinders I have changed quite significantly. Now, the corruption one is completely as I want it, but there's been a big change, and I figure I won't show on camera, but it takes a while, so I don't want to do 2 of them. So I did this one off camera, and this one is partly done, and the bit I want to change is now going to be on camera because we're going to do it. But you can see the whole design aspect of this has changed, and what happened before was a lot of enemies died in it, but certain enemies, such as the werewolves, were jumping into the lava, and once they got low on health, they would just leave. So I wanted to trap them in. So we've got this pit, look, they run up like a staircase and fall in, and once they're in there, they can't get out, which is cool. Next, let's look at the other stuff that's in my chest. We have a cross necklace and a titan glove. These are from mimics. Mimics pretend to be treasure chests and attack you once you try to open them. I didn't attack these. I didn't fall for their tricks. They literally fell on my head as I was mining up the corrupted desert. So I end those. This is quite handy, but I think it's been nerfed significantly. This used to be useless, but it's got a few Tinker's upgrades, which are good. If I go across to this side, these two were dropped by random enemies, and I can't believe it. These are, well, not difficult, but a complicated thing to make. They summoned the hard mode bosses, and they were just dropped by regular enemies. This clock was dropped by a mummy. Immunity to slow, but I don't think I've ever been slowed, so that's going to be useless. And as is this mummy mask, which is a vanity item, which actually looks quite funny. Worried me when it happened at first, I saw my face slowly change. And across here, what I'm really excited about is the wolf fang, summon a pet werewolf. That comes from the full moon that we encountered, well, I encountered off camera. Didn't get the moon charm, but the wolf fang is good enough because now we get a pet werewolf. And finally, we were dropped this, a Nimbus rod by a cloud. I haven't used it, but it says it does 38 magic damage, which sounds amazing. So we'll test this out. So I'll stick that in inventory. Bear in mind, 38 damage, the B gun only did 7. So that is a major upgrade. And we'll take the wolf fang out too. So first things first, let's test out this Nimbus rod on a slime or something I guess we can find, maybe, hanging around. Get across. Now, yeah, I'm kind of hoping it summons out one of those Nimbus things, you know, the little monsters, the rain clouds that attacked me. Because they were deadly. They screwed me over so many times. If I can summon one of the... Oh! We can see one of my... Ah, here's a change. Right. Let's, rain cloud it. Okay. Okay. Oh. Did the werewolf have to... No, I think it can only have 2. Okay. Now... Is it... It can't be the rain that causes the damage. If it's the rain that causes damage and each raindrop deals 38 magic damage, that is way too overpowered. Right, let's try it out. How do I... It looks like it is. It can't be though. It can't be. Right, I'll show my other change in here. This is my new and improved farm. So up at the top, I'll start, because I was sick of just having pumpkins. We've got a lot of pumpkins. We've got 500 in here and like 500 somewhere else. So up at the top here, this is ebon stone, which is corrupted bricks. I've put this here because this is what deathweed grows on. So hopefully we can get some deathweed off that. Over here is mud. This is because blinkroot grows on mud. Down here we have mushroom grass, so we can get the glowing mushrooms. Over here is the pumpkin patch, we can get pumpkins. Down here is jungle grass, so we can get... there's something that grows in jungle grass, I can't remember what. And over here is sand, so we can get water leaf and cactus. Now it works on the same principle. I flick the lever, all of these stuff pop off. But I'll just leave that for now, because it doesn't look like we've got all that much growing. Can I... Oh, it gets stuck in the house. Let me just... jump into... Oh, wow. I think it might be the rain. I need something stronger than just slimes. Hey, slime. Take this. It is. It looks like it's the individual rain. My god. Yeah, so all this used to be desert. No longer is. Got a little puddle here. I want to improve that somehow. It means bucketing water, which is a pain. And this, I wanted to make this look more natural by having little bits jut out, but it just slowed me down as I ran up, which annoyed me, so I removed it. This is water leaf here, look, see if I chop that, water leaf. I want that to start growing. Now the reason I'm getting a load of water leaf and deathweed and stuff like that on my farm is because we need a bunch of these ingredients in order to craft shine potions. And I want to have some shine potions in my life, because they are freaking amazing. I would like to see what is going on. Let us put away the bee gun in the magic chest. Let us use this Nimbus rod for now, see how good that is in the future. Should we also summon up a werewolf? See what that looks like? Sounds like I ate it. Got a bright green werewolf. Okay, store that down there for now. Now, he's supposed to be pretty good. He's supposed to be stronger than the zombie. What else? Ah, yes, we're going to make that change to the the grind that I mentioned. But this does require some tools, and I'm going to need 10 silver bars, I think. And in here, a chain. Take those. Now, in order to craft what I need, we need a table and chair. But apparently, a crafting table and chair is not good enough, so I can't craft it at my little everything bench here, which sucks. I would love to be able to do that. But luckily, we do have our Lewis over here. He has his own table and chair, so we can craft it in here. So I've got a crafting, push this and go across. We want to craft a silver watch. You can see it only crafted at a table and chair. It requires 10 silver bars and 1 chain, which we brought with us. Craft that up. Now I want to go back to the anvil, and I think I just need some wires. But I'll need a bunch of wires and stuff anyway, so I might as well grab them out of here. Give me a red wrench and a blue wrench and some wire cutters just in case, and some wires, of course. And I want a brown pressure plate. Bought one in advance. Now anvil, here we go. I want to craft here, a 3-second timer. Now what this does is when it's given a signal, like from a lever or a pressure plate or something, it counts to 3, then sends out a pulse. So whatever it's connected to will activate every 3 seconds. So I'm going to make one of those. Dunk. I'll explain why shortly. So let us make our way, since our werewolf is... Oh, here he comes. Let's make our way to our spawner, and you'll see the grinder, and you'll see the changes that have been made. Now enemies will come up here, they'll jump up here, and then they'll fall in here and get stunned and killed by the lava. Now you may notice we have these dart traps in here. Now there are certain enemies I noticed, such as the eyeballs and the ice elementals, that will come into this but don't go low enough to touch the lava, at least not frequently. So I set up this rudimentary system of traps so that once there are a bunch of ice elementals in there, because they'll go in it, they just won't touch the lava. Once they're in there, any other enemies that run up will activate this trap, fire off some little darty darts, like so. Pop. But the thing about dart traps, look at that, they can only be activated once every 3 seconds, which is where this 3-second timer comes in handy. So let us first of all reclaim some of this wire, because we don't need it, and take this pressure plate. Same at this side. Take the pressure plate, reclaim some of this wire. Now we want to get underneath, down here. So we're safe in here, look, same old, same old. But what we want to do, hey werewolf, it should be up there. We want wire. Now we want to bring this wire down, and same across this side. And across. Now this will actually... Oh, please tell me I have enough. Not if I start wasting it all around like this. Give me that. And give me this one. I should have enough, hopefully. Now these are going to be wired in to a 3-second timer. I don't have enough wires. Right, how much money do I have on me? 1 silver. I think I need a little bit more than that for wire. Let's take 2 gold and buy 2 gold's worth of wires. We seem to be using them in pretty much everything anyway. We might as well stock up like I did with actuators and stuff. Hey Kayla, let me shop. I would like as many wires as you would be willing to sell me. 40. Honestly, not as much as I thought I was going to get, but I'll take it. Stay in there, Lois, you piece of crap. It's off camera, we was lucky enough to have blood moons and full moons and get lots of rare treasures and stuff. But we were also immensely lucky in that we weren't attacked by any bosses or invasions and stuff. In fact, we did have a goblin invasion, goblin army invasion, but that was it. I was expecting a lot more. Right, let's start laying these down. Now I'm going to wire this up like so. If I bring this down here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the 3-second timer here. Now if I activate it manually, you'll see that they will shoot every 3 seconds, which is their minimum anyway. So you can see how it's just constantly going to shoot, but we don't want it constantly shooting, so we're going to turn it off. Now I'm going to wire this up with a blue one. I could use the red still, but I think with the blue it's going to be more apparent what is going on and see that the signal is coming from this alone. I'm going to put in a pressure plate here. So now, as soon as I walk in, this will be set off. Hopefully. Did it not work? Ah, oh, son of a gun. It's connected to the wrong... Give me that. Okay, alright, just need to pull it back a couple. Is all, I think. Move, Werewolf, I can't see where my wire is. There. Is this connected? It could be. Alright, let me out. So the way it should work is, right now it does nothing. As soon as I enter it, it should start spitting out the... There we go. So it's rigged up now so that if I turn the wires on, look, as soon as I walk in, put down a torch or 2. Oh, no, I don't have any in here. I don't know. That'll do. Right, in fact, let's put it there, and then give me that one, and then give me on too. So the way this works is, when I walk in, the blue... There's a wire there. Oh, crappy crap. Give me this back. Give me this back. Right, so the way this works, as soon as I walk in, I hit the pressure plate here. This pressure plate then sends a signal across the blue wire to the timer. Notice how the blue wire doesn't connect to these, so you can see that it's not the blue wire doing this. This timer then sends a signal down the red to set these off every 3 seconds, and they'll keep shooting every 3 seconds, so any flying enemies in there will get constantly hit until we leave, at which point it should be turned off. There we go, look, and if we came back in, it turns back on again. And we leave, and it's off. Now that is what I've set up at the corruption area too. I jumped in there for no reason. Did not have to. I think at some point I'm going to have to restructure this landscape to make it easier for enemies to get in. But yeah, this is all done, and it's cool, and it's good, and everything works nicely. So going home, right, I've got my list. There are 10 items on this list. One of them, surprisingly, is not explain what I've done, so there should have been 11 items. So next, I want to check out the Dryad. Now, I might have mentioned this before, but in the last episode, I defeated some Hydras and got enough Souls of Flight to craft wings. But then I discovered, by pure luck, by talking to these people, that the Dryad actually sells wings, but just not all the time. Bunny, what are you doing in here? So please tell me, do you sell any right now? She does not. Okay, so we can't buy any wings from her right now. So if we check every day, she should have them in stock. And that is literally just going to save us fighting the same boss about 4 times. And it's not a boss that you summon. You have to wait for him to come at you. And it took about 40 minutes in total, including waiting around time. So we'll put that for now. Next on the list, let's see. It's in no particular order. In fact, the bottom thing on the list is the first thing I did. Done that. Okay, those two can be combined.